Hi friends, it's Belinda here from Be Making Joy, and this is episode 57 of What Brings Me Joy. This is a mostly knitting podcast from my home here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where I share with you my knitting projects, the things that I'm working on, so that you can help hold me accountable for the things that I cast on, and sometimes you get sneak peeks at the things that I'm designing. I'm recording this episode on Tuesday, July 15, 2025, and I want to welcome you all, new and returning viewers. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. So today I have two finished objects to share with you, plus one that is not knitting, and I have a little bit of progress on a few other WIPs, so we'll run through those quickly. And then I have a lot of acquisitions to share with you. But first, some life update. I didn't get as much done as I had hoped because we had a lot of things going on, a very busy schedule since my last episode. Let's see, I had my follow-up visit with the doctor, and she referred me to a dietitian. So this dietitian works with the doctor in the doctor's office, and our goal is to lower my cholesterol. So she tailors her advice specific to the patient. And so we're working on, first off, we're working on adding more fiber to my diet. So over the next couple of weeks, I got to add more vegetables to my meals, add chia seeds or hemp seeds or flax seeds or something to my smoothies, add nuts to my ice cream, add bits and bits of more fiber to my diet. And then later we'll probably be working on what I need to take out. So yeah, doctor appointments, dietitian appointments, and all that just in time for Stampede Week of all the Stampede food. We went to a couple of Stampede barbecues during the week. Burgers, junk food, mini donuts. And we went to a couple of pancake breakfasts. We spent one day down on the grounds, and we decided it's really not our scene anymore. Been a couple of years, I think, since I've been down to the grounds, but nothing seems to be new. Rides, games, stupid expensive. We worked out that it cost like $10 a ride if you didn't pre-buy a package. We explored the barns, the BMO Center, which is an expo of various products. Various sellers had booths. We went to the Western Oasis, which is a wine tasting, I guess you would say, a wine and cheese and stuff. We went to the Creative Arts and Crafts Show, where I had entered something in the Creative Arts and Crafts Show, my first time ever entering something in the Stampeding. I don't know why I've never done it before. I used to enter my knits in the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition back when I was a teenager, and I used to win things there. So this year, for the first time, I entered something into the Stampede grounds, and I just picked it up today. I didn't win anything, but it was very exciting to see it on display down there. So I entered my snowflake throw, which is the big circular 5-foot in diameter throw that I have been using as the tablecloth over the winter. One of my patterns. And I originally entered it as a lace entry, but they transferred it to the textured stitches entry, which, it has a combination of lace and cables in it. So they made the decision to transfer it, which is nice. I didn't win any prizes, but I liked the feedback that I got. So I thought I'd share it with you. There's different categories of criteria. So, and I got a marking of excellent on all of them. The first impression was excellent, and they wrote, very much appreciate the effort of creating this beautiful design. Creativity and style was excellent. Color and pattern was excellent. Materials was excellent. They wrote, could not have chosen a more perfect yarn. Technical skill, excellent. Texture, physical and visual was excellent. Scale, balance, proportion was excellent. And the notes was incredible job, super fun design, and a cute little happy face. So, like I said, I didn't win anything because there were some very beautiful entries. But it was so exciting just to see it on display there. So I'm going to put in a picture of it, how it was displayed. So that was fun. What else? We went to the Shania Twain concert, which was down on the Stampede grounds. We went to dinner in the club at the Saddle Dome before the concert. I went to the concert. Shania Twain was the Stampede Parade Marshal. Yeah, that's the word, this year. So she led the parade. And she did a concert. It was a very late night. She didn't come on stage till past 9:30. But her opening cover was Devon Cole, a female singer. So yeah, it was fun, but it was a very late night for us. My oldest daughter spent some time here with us because she came into the city for a Stampede a few times. So she showed up at the house and took over the bed here first Saturday night or early morning hours of Sunday, and disappeared Monday morning. And then she showed up again the next Saturday or Friday. Stayed for a couple more days the next weekend. So that was nice. We always enjoy when one of our kids come to visit. Yeah. I don't think we did anywhere near this much Stampede stuff last year, but fun. Still attended all my congregation meetings. I did a shift at the Jehovah's Witnesses literature cart. I am stumbling very badly right now. I need to pause. Literature cart is what I was trying to say. Jehovah's Witnesses set up displays of free Bible-based literature brochures and whatnot for people to just take as they come by. We manned the LRT stations throughout the week of Stampede, so I had a shift with my local congregation on that. Our local congregation also, we had a meeting last night to vote on the logistics of setting up a new congregation because so many of our congregations here are over capacity. So 5 new congregations are being formed in Calgary, and I will be moving to one of them. I won't actually be physically moving, they're just changing the territory borders of what neighborhoods are elected to go to which congregations. And several congregations share the same Kingdom Hall, so we rotate our meeting times. So starting September 1st, I'll have new meeting times, and I have to rearrange my schedule to work around that. Looking forward to meeting some new people. What else? I had a dentist appointment, just a cleaning and checkup. We still had our regular knit group sessions at Ancient Arts Yarns, my LYS, and LYS is local yarn store. And I volunteered with them to help when they hosted a Stampede breakfast. A Stampede breakfast is where a business will serve free pancakes to the public during Stampede week or sometimes a week or two before Stampede. So throughout Stampede, there's always one somewhere every day throughout the city. So Ancient Arts hosted their 3rd annual one on Saturday, and they invite several artisans and small businesses in the fiber industry to set up booths in the parking lot while they're doing this. They offer no charge for the vendors to set up booths, except they did accept sponsorships. It is costly, I'm sure, to host a pancake breakfast. So I volunteered serving the pancakes, or rather I was scooping berries and whipped cream onto the pancakes. I don't know, I haven't heard how many pancakes we actually served. At the end, we got extremely generous with the pancakes and the sausages. So most of my acquisitions this episode come from this event, from some of the vendors. And there was an exclusive yarn that they made just for the vendors, or just for the volunteers. So I'm looking forward to showing you that. I think that's all the life updates. Let's start with finished objects. Let's start with what I'm wearing. This is the Astro Pop Tee by Marie Green. And Marie Green is a well-known designer, and every year she does a knit a sweater in 4 days challenge. This was this year's challenge. I knew with all that was on my schedule that I wasn't going to be able to do it in 4 days, so I challenged myself to do it in a week. But in the end, it took me a total of 52 hours and a bit, over 11 days to make this shirt. So pretty, very pretty. Hopefully you can see it. I should put it in pictures. Maybe I haven't taken any pictures yet. So it's hitting right at my waist right now, but it hasn't been blocked yet. It will grow. She recommends the DK weight yarn, knit at a gauge of 23 stitches over the 4 inches, which I had to go down to a 3mm needle size to get. But after washing, my swatch grew to 21 inches in that 4-inch, 21 stitches in that 4-inch gauge swatch measurement. So when I wash this shirt, it will get looser and longer. But right now it's very nicely form-fitting and very comfortable. So I used the Lion brand True Boo, hence why it grows and stretches. Bamboo does stretch. I did wear this as is for several hours on Sunday. I'm not sure how often bamboo needs to be washed, but probably more often than the wool garments. It would depend on how hot I get or if I spill. I do already have a little bit of makeup, which I don't remember which side it was on, which I think I wiped off. So yeah, as I was saying, it will grow when I wash it, but it's very comfortable, and it will still be comfortable with up to 3 inches of ease in it. This is the first pattern by Marie Green that I have ever knit, and it's very well written. Very well written. I would knit it again, absolutely. A number of the staff at Ancient Art Yarns have made this as well, so I've seen it on a few different body shapes. It looks good. I highly recommend this pattern. I would knit it again, but it's not on my immediate plans. I posted daily stories while I was doing this challenge, and I'm going to compile them here. That may answer anything that I forgot to mention. If you've already seen them, you can use the chapter stamps along the bottom of the screen or down the side to skip ahead to my next finished object, which is the Tracie Cardie. Hi friends, Belinda here. I'm about to cast on for the Knit a Sweater in 4 days challenge. It's not a sweater actually, it's a t-shirt. The Astro Pop Tee by Marie Green. She released the pattern a day early, so we can get started today, except that I have a lot of commitments in the upcoming week, mostly related to Stampede Week. So I am going to give myself some grace. I'm going to try and do it in a week. And of course, it doesn't matter if it takes me all month, but I thought I would just document this journey. So I'm casting on with Lion brand True Boo, which is not one of the recommended yarns. I did have trouble meeting gauge, so I am going down significantly in needle size, but have decided I can't handle anything smaller than this, a 3mm, whereas the recommended was 3.75. So my gauge is off by a stitch, but I did the math. I'm going to do the size 2, and if my math is right, I think I'll have 3.5 inches of positive ease in that shirt. So the top is going to be in white, and then the mid stripes in purple, and the body in gray. And yes, I know bamboo has a fair amount of stretch, but maybe at this gauge it won't stretch as much. I mean, this has already been wet blocked. I think it's going to be good. So again, this is the shirt I'm working on, and I'm getting ready to cast on now. Good morning. Ready to start day 2 of the Astro Pop Tee challenge. Here's what I got done yesterday. I did the neck, the short row stitches to raise the back so that the front doesn't choke you. So this is the back, this is the front. I only got about 4 hours of knitting in yesterday because we went to a Stampede barbecue party in between. And then I forced myself to go to bed at midnight. So now my emails are read, my first cup of coffee is drunken. I'm ready to start working on this tomorrow. Come back tomorrow to see how far I get. Untangling this and then going to bed. But aren't those colors pretty? Good morning. It's the start of day 3 of the Astro Pop Tee 4-day challenge. I'm not going to get much knitting done today, hence why I'm making my challenge 7 days. Off to the Stampede today, but a little bit of knitting before we go. So this is what's done after a total of 14 hours of knitting for me. So I'm not a very fast knitter. I did 4 hours on Thursday and about 10 hours yesterday. And the yarn we're using is Lion Brand True Boo. And it's got so many strands in there that if I'm not looking, I can split the yarn and have to go back. And last night I had to stop and ball up my skeins because the commercial skeins tend to collapse on me. But yeah, I'm liking it. Happy Sunday morning, a wet and gray one here in Calgary. I'm starting my 4th day of working on the Astro Pop challenge. Yesterday I got 2 hours in before we went to the Stampede and the Shania Twain concert, so I got a couple more stripes done. And so in total I've spent 16 hours of knitting on this so far over the course of 3 days. I gave myself 7 days to do it instead of Marie Green's 4-day challenge. And today I'm going to put a couple of hours in before I have to go get dressed for the afternoon worship, and then we'll see how the evening goes. I did have to rip back one entire round of 240 stitches because I was just puttering along, following the pattern, enjoying those stripes. Beautiful stripes. And then I realized I missed a bunch of increases in that row and had to think back and do it again. Back on track, enjoying it, loving it. Yes, and yes, I'm still in my pajamas. Late start to the day. We went to the Stampede yesterday, the Shania Twain concert. But yeah, isn't it gorgeous? I'm in love with my colors I picked out. I'm using Lion Brand True Boo. I'll find the labels next time and tell you what the colors are called. Good morning. It's Monday morning, my 5th day of working, the start of my 5th day of working on this Astro Pop Tee. I got 6 hours of knitting in yesterday. Got all this gray section done. It's slow going, very tiny stitches. I'm up to 360 stitches on the needle, which for reference, my trainer cloak pattern has 450 stitches on the needle for the cloak. So this is, it's taken some time. So 6 hours yesterday. I spent a total of 22 hours on this so far. In between having to go places here and there for commitments. I have to do one more increase round, and then it's ready to split for the sleeves, assuming the yoke is long enough, which I think it is. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be perfect. I said I was going to tell you what the name of all the colors are. Come back here. So the white, Lion Brand True Boo, and it's just simply called white. This one was called Mauve. Mauve or Mauve, which way you like to say that. And my gray is called Silver. I guess I'll stop calling it gray, it's silver. So those are my colors. I'm loving how it's working out. Hoping the light's right here for you to see. Yeah, so I'll do an hour of knitting this morning, and then I have to go get some lunch and do something with my hair so that it's not blowing in the wind. And then this evening we'll get some more work done. Good morning. It's time for my daily check-in with the progress on the Astro Pop Tee. And recording outside might be a mistake. There's always somebody doing something. We'll see. It's Tuesday morning, start of day 6 for me working on this because it's been a busy weekend. I got 6 more hours of knitting in yesterday. I had a commitment in the afternoon with the literature cart, but pleased with the progress I made. Since I showed you yesterday, I split for the sleeves and did a good chunk of the body. After splitting for the sleeves and there were fewer stitches on the needle, it went much more smoothly. And on the body down the side is this lovely lace that's going to go all the way down the side. So that keeps it interesting. So still loving it. My goal for today is to finish off this ball, put it on pony cord so I can try it on for you, and then I'm going to skip ahead and do the sleeves. They're short sleeves, so I think it's only an inch. So I haven't looked ahead of the instructions, but I want to get to that as soon as I can. But today I have a dentist appointment this afternoon and I have ministry school this evening, so I don't think I'll get very far, but I really hope to be able to try it on today. Okay, 2.5 hours later, when this gray silver skein ran out, I put this body stitches on a stitch holder. This is pony cord from Michael's, but there are special ones that you can buy at knitting stores. I like to put the body on hold at that point and go and finish the sleeves. So the sleeves are also on these holders right now. So I'm going to go pick up those stitches and work on the sleeves. Now it's close forming right now, but remember bamboo will grow when it's wet, so I think I'll still get the 3 inches of ease that I was expecting after it's been washed. So a little spin, it's turning out wonderfully. Good morning, friends. It's the start of day 7 of me doing this knit a sweater in 4 days challenge by Marie Green. In all fairness, it's been a busy week. I've only actually been able to spend a total of 34 hours knitting so far this week. So in consideration of that, I'm doing pretty good. Last night I finished the first sleeve. This morning I'm going to finish the second sleeve and then put these body stitches back on the needle to finish the body. I think I've got 5 or 6 more inches to do on the body. And then the cuff is I think it's the 2x2 rib, just like the neckband and the armband. So I am enjoying it. It's the Astro Pop Tee pattern by Marie Green. Okay, 3.5 hours later and a shower in between, and the second sleeve is finished. I don't remember now which one's the first sleeve and which one was the second one, but they're done. It's fitting absolutely perfectly in the upper body. It will grow a little bit when it's blocked, but just a bit, and it's going to be lovely. So now I'm going to put these stitches back on the needle and work a couple of inches in the body, but we are off to a stampede party later tonight, so no idea how far we'll get, when we're going to the party, how long we're staying, how late I'll stay up tonight, we'll see. Checking in for the start of day 8 of the knit a sweater in 4 days challenge. I didn't even achieve my knit a sweater in 1 week challenge, but that's okay. I have 4 more inches to go on the body, and then a 1 inch, 1.5 inch, I think, cuff. Maybe it's more than that. Less than 2 anyway. So this is 40 hours worth of knitting. So if I was doing it in 4 days, 10 hours a day, I still would not have accomplished it. But that's mostly because of my yarn choice. The bamboo is slippery. Doesn't slide off the needles as well, as fast as wool does. And because of all the fibers in there, it's splitty, so I keep having to stop and repair a stitch. But I recommend this pattern very much. It's the Astro Pop Tee by Marie Green. Very well written, beautiful design. I've even got my sleeves finished. I paused on the body and went and finished the sleeves first, then back to the body. So now this is going to come with me to knit group this afternoon, and then I'm going to put it aside for a little bit and get some other things accomplished that were neglected this past week. But come look for my podcast next week to see the finished project. I should be wearing it in the next podcast. I believe I'm ready to start the ribbing for the waistband. The top of my shorts are right here. And I've reached the end of my 9th repeat. That gives me slightly more than 9 inches, but it's on block. Bamboo will grow. And the pattern says go to 10 inches. So I think I will stop here. And I'm running out of yarn in this skein, so the start of the rib would be a good place for weaving. Hi friends, my Astro Pop Tee is finished. The ends are all woven in. This is a pattern by Marie Green. I'm going to wear it like this today. I'm not actually going to block it until it needs to be washed. So it's form-fitting right now and reaches my waist. So I've got room for the 3 inches of growth that I might get when the bamboo stretches. I'm loving it. Yeah, very nice. I was trying to show you the back. There we go. So right before starting the Astro Pop, I finished this Tracie Cardie for my mom. Come back here, chair. So this is my own design in memory of my sister Tracie, Tracie. And I released this pattern on July 1st of this year in my Ravelry shop and my Etsy shop. If you've been following me, you've seen the first one that I made for myself, but I'll pop a picture up here. This is a picture that you will see on the pattern listing page. It uses finger and weight yarn, a skein of a special colorway paired with a solid coordinating for the body, the sleeves, the button band, and the collar. My original used a sock needle from Ancient Arts Yarns, and 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. This one is a 75% merino, 25% nylon. The special colorway in the yoke is Red Winged Blackbird from Blackbird Knitting and Needleworks in Leduc, Alberta. And in the end, I paired it with a Cascade Heritage, which is also a 75-25. So it features upside down hearts all the way around the yoke. And it's written top down, so you use the colorway first and then pair it with a solid. I think all the information is on the pattern listing page. So this one is for my mother. I don't know, Mom, when I'll be able to give it to you, whether I'm coming down in person or I have to mail it. We have a few trips coming up, and yeah, I haven't figured it out yet. But I have another finished object that goes along with it. Surprise, Mom! You're also getting a pin. So when I purchased the Red Wing Blackbird yarn, I also got or purchased a Blackbird stitch marker from the same shop. So with Ilana's help, we went to our local beads store. It's called Beads and Plenty More here in the Lake Bonavista Promenade, and got the pin, which has 5 hangy things. So we got the butterflies and the hearts to make a brooch, which I thought would go very nicely with the sweater. And I thought if it's a windy day and you want to hold your sweater closed, you could pin it together. So I think that's all there is to say about this. But thank you to my daughter Ilana for helping to assemble this. Now, works in progress. While focusing on the Astro Pop challenge, the only other progress I've done on my WIPs is a little bit more on my purse project, a little bit more on Ilana's glow knee highs, and my temperature scarf is still up to date, been kept up to date. So I'll briefly show those after I put the sweater back on the mannequin, but we won't dwell on them. We'll briefly show those and then we'll get on to acquisitions. Okay, WIPs. While editing the last episode, I got a little further up the leg of the first sock of my banana socks. So maybe in an inch. And while in waiting rooms, I got some of the foot on the second sock done. Maybe another inch, inch and a half, inch and a bit. So slowly but surely, those. So this is going back into my purse for those waiting room events, which I don't think there's any coming up in the near future, but anyway. And this one's going back into this bag for, I don't know. So I'm working the 2 socks back and forth in tandem. When the second sock gets up to the heel point, I'll swap it with this one, so that I always have some stockinette knitting in my purse. Now, let's look at this one first. My temperature scarf, after finishing the Astro Pop, I brought my temperature scarf back up to date at some point this weekend. It was up to date. So this is my 5th year doing a temperature scarf or blanket, using extremely old acrylic yarn. So I won't get into it again, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And this one is my own pattern that I published in March of this year. Glow knee socks. This is my 3rd time knitting this pattern. These ones are for my youngest daughter. So I've gone well past the calf increases, working them 2 at a time from the same skein of yarn. So I'm on the boring 2x2 rib until I run out of this yarn, and that will bring it up past the knees. And then I've got a pretty cuff to do with eyelets in it with this color. So that's slowly but surely as well for my daughter, the glow knee socks. So I think that's all that I've worked on this last 2 weeks. So let's do my WIP count update. So at the end of the last episode, my WIP count was 8. I've since finished the Tracie Cardie, and I started and finished the Astro Pop Tee. So my WIP count is now down to 7. And I have no new cast-ons planned. I do need to get back to work on that pillow to enter in the TKGA design contest. And I do need to get my Ravelry notes up to date. Now, hang on, I have some acquisitions to show you, but first let's talk about my upcoming plans. So I'm going to go back to working on that pillow for the TKGA design contest. I did not do any spinning yet as I had intended for Tour de Fleece, but I still intend to. The Astro Pop Tee took all of my focus. Ilana was going to join me, but she got busy on a gift for her sister. And actually, maybe I should start sharing her crochet projects, because she's got some very nice work going too. Keep reminding myself to do that. But I have put together a box for my spinning, and I've got some videos queued up to refresh my memory on drop spindle spinning. So here are my instructions from the class I took in October. Here's my spindle from that class with a weight on it, a nut as a weight. There's a spindle that I bought, I think about a month ago. And then fiber. This is the fiber that I was spinning with in PEI. This is some alpaca, 100% Surrey alpaca that I bought at a fiber festival somewhere. I bought this one last month. I bought this one in Tempe a couple of years ago, Corriedale. I bought this one in Prague, but I think it's actually, well, yeah, it's actually felting fabric. So I don't know if I can spin it or not. But yeah, I can try it. So yeah, I put myself together a little box. And it's out here ready to start as soon as I finish editing and uploading this video. My next 2 weeks are not very busy. There really isn't anything scheduled until we go to Ottawa. We go to Ottawa on the 31st. I might have another episode before then, depending on whether I've accomplished anything worth sharing. I probably will. If not immediately after that trip, I will. The Ottawa trip is for my husband to compete in Ironman Canada. He's been doing triathlons since 2015. And this will be his, I must double check with him, his 12th Ironman, I think. The race is on Sunday, August the 3rd. But you need to arrive at these events a couple of days early to get checked in and have your bike ready. So we're making a long weekend of it in Ottawa. If anyone doesn't know, an Ironman race starts with a 4-kilometer swim, followed by 180 kilometers on your bicycle, and finishes with a 42-kilometer run. You're allowed 17 hours to complete the course, but there are different cutoff times in the various segments. Dan has finished previous ones in just over 12 hours. He's about middle of the pack for his age group, which is really amazing to me. So I enjoy going on these trips with him and being his support person. So I need to decide which knitting projects are coming with me. Probably the pillow for the design contest. And we'll see how far we get before then, whether something else comes too. And I need to check the map around the hotel to see if there are any yarn stores that I can get to while I'm there. Sock week with Knitty Natty starts on Sunday the 20th of July. I haven't decided yet what sock pattern to do. You need to cast on a new sock on that day is the cast on day for a new sock to enter her draw. But I still have 2 pairs on the go, so I'm not enthusiastic about starting a new sock. I could skip this challenge and just finish what I've got going. I do want to use the Cherry Cola colorway that I bought at the Fiber Festival last month. Her theme this year is Ice Cream Social. There's not a specific sock pattern that she's recommended with it. I'm wondering if there is a sock pattern out there that is ice cream themed or a waffle stitch themed. I'm going to take a look. Somebody sneezed. Ancient Arts Yarns is doing a summer sock club again this summer. They've made kits for it, but I haven't bought any yet. I'm still humming and hawing. I do still have one sock from last year's club that I didn't do. I don't really remember much about it, but other than that, it was a colorwork sock. So I could do that one. There's still a lot of sock yarn over there, and I have a lot of sock patterns downloaded. Yeah, I have a lot of sock patterns to choose from, but I might go looking for a new one that's ice cream themed. We shall see. I guess you'll have to wait for the next episode to see what I've decided. But let's get into these acquisitions. I have the color of the month from Ancient Arts Yarns, plus a few things that I picked up from the vendors at their pancake breakfast. So, here's the color of the month. And as with everything, as with every monthly installment, I will read for you the email that comes to the subscribers. The July color of the month is called Prairie Thunderstorm. And it says, our July color of the month is inspired by the amazing storms that we experience on the Canadian prairies. Calgary is situated right between the foothills of the Rocky Mountains and the rolling prairies. And that means we see some amazing weather over the prairies in Alberta. Warm Chinook winds that roll off the mountains create unique cloud formations and dramatic vistas when a storm sweeps in. Sometimes these cloud formations are incredibly deeply colored with every shade of blue and purple one can imagine, and sometimes they are more classically light colored, but they never fail to put on a show. And these are her pictures that I'm showing you. Our colorway draws on the clouds, the rain, the prairie grasses, the farmers' fields, and the wildflowers hidden within them. Our complementary colors this month create a softer palette, drawing on the grasses dimmed by the storm, the wildflowers, and the skies above. So I don't know if I've shared this with you before, but each month they also include some suggested colorways in their email, what you can choose to pair with the color of the month selection. So here's a picture of this yarn alongside the colors Fern Leaf Lavender, Old Man's Beard, and Lookin' Fine in my new blue jeans one. So that's their suggested pairing. So that would make a nice Tracie Cardie, wouldn't it? I'm not sure which pairing I would pair with it. Or it would make a nice pair of socks. And then the items that I bought at the vendor pop-up pancake breakfast at Ancient Arts Yarns. So from Smiling Sheep, I'd actually ordered this at the Olds Fiber Festival, as I told you about last episode. So I picked it up from them at the pancake breakfast. So from Smiling Sheep, on their base called Smitten, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams of skein. I bought 2 skeins. The color is called Sound of Silence. So such a beautiful deep black. I intended it for Mom's Tracie Cardie, but in the end I used the Cascade Heritage on it. So, but this will have a use for sure. Black hand-dyed yarn is hard to do. They're very special to find it. So it will get used. In my stadium sit-upon, probably the football and the hockey themed pillow cushions, I have plans to make more as a gift in a certain team. So that's probably where this will get used, some of it. And it's also good for toes and heels of socks. Any kind of color work. Black comes up often in color work in Tarsha's. Anyway, and at Ancient Arts designed a special colorway for the pancake breakfast. This is called Pancake Breakfast. It's on their Stocknado fingering base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. when their staff was having a play day a couple of months ago, one of their staff members, Christine, this was her colorway, and the others liked it so much they decided to do a run of it for the Stampede breakfast. So I bought that. That would be a yummy pair of socks. Of course, you know it's going to be a while before I get around to using it, but I love it. It's the pancakes, the whipped cream, the berries. Just so perfect. And for the volunteers, Ancient Arts did a goodie bag. So the bag with their, I was going to say logo, but it's not really their logo. Their design. Ancient Arts yarns. A pretty nice tote bag with a pocket in the front. Doesn't have any kind of closure, but that's okay. It's very nice and deep. And it had goodies in it. One thing was a pin. I don't remember what of. I gave it to Ilana. I will take a picture of it. She has a pin collection on a hat. So I will show a picture of that. And the bag also included yarn, but first, what do you call this? A progress keeper from Ginger Snap. It says Girl Power. And I'm not sure which vendor these were from, but they are needlepoint covers. They go on the tips of your knitting needles to protect you from getting stabbed or poking through the bag. And then the yarn, the special base that she didn't obtain enough of to actually make it a line in her store. But it's 80% extra fine merino, 20% baby camel, and it's a DK weight. And it's very soft, and she called the colorway, "We couldn't have done it without you." Thank you. It's just gorgeous. And you know, anything with a purple in it is just, I just fall in love with those purples and greens, blues, orange. It's gorgeous and it's so soft. I love the baby camel in it. So again, without being able to get any more of that base, I'm not quite sure what it will become. I mean, maybe a one skein shawl pattern with the yarn so soft. I think that's what it needs to be, a shawl. So we'll look at that sometime in the future. And there. That's all I have to show you. That concludes this episode. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed my work, please give me a thumbs up and please tell me in the comments what's been bringing you joy. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments or message me. And you can find me everywhere as Be Making Joy. So happy knitting, crocheting, beading, embroidering, painting, jigsaw puzzling, whatever it is that you like to do, go make some joy.